Well, good morning, everybody. Um, Thank you for tuning into the podcast. Normally, this platform is a podcast for the movie itself, Serial Killers, the Beginning. As you well know, this, excuse me, film is based off of true events, true people, and whatnot. Unfortunately, I'm kind of living some true events right now. I just posted on Facebook on the page that my daughter Willow was kidnapped. Um, she was kidnapped by her mother, but that doesn't make it any less important. There is a thing called parental kidnap. It is a thing, and whether you have court orders or not, you cannot just take a child, hide out, and not let the other parent see the child. Now, it's been almost 3 weeks since I have seen or heard from my daughter, or her mother for that matter. The child has not been in school, and I have taken every little precaution, if you will, to find my daughter. The last time I saw her was Easter at 8:15 at night. Her mother came over very late. She was supposed to be here earlier during the day, but she, didn't show up. Well, when my son refused to go with her, she threatened him with physical violence, like she always does when she gets mad. So he ran away and hid in my closet, and I didn't make him go with her. She started yelling and screaming, causing a scene, burst her way into my apartment, which is, she was not invited, so that's basically breaking in. And she manipulated Willow, scared her basically, told her to go to the car. Excuse me. And Willow went to the car, and Ellie was making threats and whatnot. And basically, I told her that if she didn't leave, I was going to call the cops because I didn't want to deal with her because she is 100% the kind of person to hit herself or have someone hit her and say that I did it. Well, luckily, I had a friend over that Ellie knew nothing about, and she was listening to the whole thing, so she was my witness. Um, I have called, I've done a wellness check, and they were kind of irritated to do the wellness check. The police department was a local police department. They did it, but they only knocked on the door. Obviously, no one came to the door because if Ellie was there, she wasn't going to answer the door. Um, so they basically, that was it. When I tried to call them back to do something else, they just shoved me off somewhere else. So I've called the Citrus Heights Police Department. I've called the Sacramento Sheriffs. I've called the California Highway Patrol. I have called CPS on 4 different occasions. My son called CPS. My son's mental health provider called CPS. And another medical professional called CPS about this situation. Now, it'd be one thing if the mother was sane or even a decent person, but she is not. I am not a doctor, so therefore I cannot diagnose her. But in my preview of her over the past 11 years, she's certifiably insane. To me, personally, this is my opinion. She has been in a mental ward before, and she's had 4 CPS cases on her before. She had her son taken away from her from CPS because she was an unfit mother. It's pretty bad when CPS takes them away. Um, so she's I thought she would mellow out over the years, but somewhat sometimes when she's medicated and she's on multiple medications, she smokes more weed than Snoop Dogg, and you would think that that would calm someone down. No, not her. She has got to be, and I'm not being a dick here, folks. I'm just being serious. Um, she has got to be one of the meanest people, most vile people, most evil people that I've ever met in my entire life. When she gets mad at the kids, she doesn't sit there and calmly talk to them and ask them what's going on. She screams at them, threatens them, all this kind of stuff. One day she was combing Willow's hair, and Willow had some knots in it, and Willow was saying ouch and whatnot, and Ellie said, "If you don't stop, I'll shave your head." Now, what do you think that does to a 7-year-old girl? You know, um, Ellie again. Well, she favors Willow for one over her son. And I mean, when he comes to me saying, "Dad, why does Mom love her more than me? Why does Mom hate me?" On more than one occasion, that's a problem. There has been many times to where they're just acting like normal kids, and she comes out of her room screaming and yelling at the top of her lungs, telling them to shut their fucking mouths or else. Um, she sleeps literally more than a lion. She sleeps all day. I could have been at work from 9 to 5, and on spring break, the kids, I come home, "Hey kids, how's it going?" Naturally, I'm like, "Hey, what'd you eat for dinner tonight?" And my son goes, "Chips and cookies and ice cream. Mom has been sleeping all day, hasn't checked on us, hasn't fed us, and she doesn't care about us." And Willow was like, "Well, thank God you're home. I need something to drink." And I guess her mom heard that, burst out of the room, starts getting in Willow's face, screaming and yelling about, "Don't say that," and all this kind of stuff. And I just merely said, "Hey, don't yell at her, man." Then she starts yelling at me. Um, she's not a logical person. She's not a person that you can sit down and have a conversation with. Um, when I finally, I was moving out because, she pays for nothing. I pay the rent. I paid the car payment. I paid the insurance. I paid the phone bill. I bought all the groceries. She's never bought groceries um, over the past year that I know of for the kids. Um, she doesn't take care of them. And she puts, them last over everything. So finally I was like, "Hey, you know what, you and your boyfriend do whatever you want to do. I'm out, dude. I can't take this anymore. The kids can't take it anymore." So I got my own place. Well, when I got my own place, I tried talking to her about it, but she never wanted to talk. So I emailed her, the reasons. She got livid, wicked pissed. She was calling me all kinds of vile names and threats and everything. But the sad part is, my son had my phone, so my son was reading all this stuff. And she told me I'm losing my comfort, meaning she's losing me to pay for her bills. So that pissed her off. So I don't feel that she loves her children because I've never really seen it. Um, I've seen her tolerate them, but I mean, I can't tell you how many times I was at work and she's like, "You need to come home. I can't take it anymore. They're driving me crazy." And I haven't even gone 2 hours. I feel that she has taken Willow to spite me and to hurt me and, just to cause issues. Now, as I said in the post on Facebook, she's around seedy people. And I don't trust that Willow is being looked after. I barely trust that Willow's even being fed unless Willow's feeding herself. I'm sure Willow has asked to talk to her dad, and her mom is 100% the type of person to talk shit about me. And, you know, And she's also the kind of person that, if pushed into a corner, could possibly be the type of individual that would hurt her daughter and herself just so I wouldn't have her. She's hiding out. I've had people go over the house at all hours of the night. And if she is there, she's hiding somewhere that people can't see her. She's definitely not opening the door. And the cops don't even have the brains enough to go to the apartment manager and say, hey, let us into the apartment so we can see if anyone's in there and make sure no one's not hurt or anything like that. They don't care. As long as they care about is, are there any court orders? Well, no, there's not. Well, we can't do anything. Well, bullshit, you can't do anything. It's called child abduction. There's Amber Alerts all the time about family members taking kids and just taking off. As you guys well know, I've gone through this before with my daughter, older daughter, and she's 24 now. And when her mom took her mom tried to sell her into sex trafficking. And my daughter was sexually molested more than once, and she was only 4 years old. She still remembers that and still has a problem with that. I do not want the same fate for Willow, who was 7 years old, who's going to be 8 in June. Um, I am not trying to talk bad about the other person, which I am, but it's all true. Um, if I thought she was a decent person, I'd still be worried because I haven't talked to my daughter, but she is, like I said, if she's hiding from the law and hiding from everybody else, why? What's the reason? A couple of days, okay, fine. You're pissed off, you're trying to make a point, whatever, but almost 3 weeks, almost 21 days missing, and no one has seen or talked to her, that's a problem. And it's BS that a parent has to use their child as a pawn, against the other parent. Well, to be honest, she's unfit to be a parent. Hell, she tried to kill her son in the womb more than once by taking vast amounts of drugs, and that's how CPS initially got involved in it, because there was illegal drugs in her system. On my son was born and put in the NICU for over a week, addicted to drugs. You know, and she said to my parents after my son was born, I don't want to be a parent. I don't want a child. And she treats him that way. And that is why I have full custody of my son. And, I want custody of my daughter as well. So, because I want to keep her safe. I live in a safe area. I have a nice house. It's, it's clean, which I say that because Ellie lives like a crack hoarder pig. That I've got pictures of the place. I would clean it up and it would be messed up. She would mess it. There would be, stuff all over the floor. It looked like a dumpster. Tornado hit that place, and I just, I don't know. So that's why I did this GoFundMe, because I'm trying to get other services. I do have a lawyer. I have taken out a loan to do the initial what do you call fee, I guess, whatever you want to call it, deposit, retainer. There you go, retainer, for the lawyer. But there are a few things that need to be done, and one of them is called an emergency ex parte, and that's where they go in front of the judge and make the case, and the judge makes a decision right then and there, if that is in fact proper to do. And if it is, then they will award me the child. And even though they cannot find her right now, they will still move forward with the case. And then once the emergency ex parte goes into place, then that elevates everything with law enforcement and whatnot to find her and take the kid away and bring her safely home to me. And that's what needs to be done. That's why I did the GoFundMe. That's why I am imploring you guys to please Number one, if you can donate, that'd be awesome. Number two, share, 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 because the more people see it, and this is a time sensitive situation, and an emergency ex parte is about $2,500 with filing and lawyer fees and court fees and all that kind of stuff. I did one before with my older daughter, and that's how I ultimately got her back. Um, so you know um, again, this I'm reliving what happened to me over 20 years ago with my older daughter. I'm reliving it again. You cannot imagine what it's doing to me in my mental state of mind. But I got to be strong for my son. I've got to be strong with living life on a daily basis, because if I let it consume me, I'm just going to sit in a dark room and drink myself to oblivion, or get depressed, or you know uh, not take showers and just go into a deep depression. I don't want to do that. Again, I've gone through this before. I'm a strong person, and I live life normal for my son. So he doesn't see me, stressed out. He sees me as his normal dad. He has never once asked about his mother since he left. He's glad she's gone, that she's not around anymore. He never wants to see her again. That's coming from a 9-year-old kid, unprompted and unprovoked from me. That's just how he feels. That's how he's always felt about her. But he was only nice to her when he was around her because he was afraid of her. So I could only imagine what Willow's going through. Um, I, I had a phone call yesterday. There was only one person that I told before I did a post today, and I'm going to, continue on with this film project, because again, I'm not doing it because I'm selfish or because I don't care or anything like that. I'm doing it to keep my mind busy. Because if I don't keep my mind busy, I'm just going to dwell on this. And I might, you know how your mind is. You start thinking scenarios and the what ifs and all that kind of stuff, and it can drive you crazy. Um, and again, I'm sad that law enforcement is not taking this as serious as they should. Um, and again, I will say this though, and I said this to CPS. I said, if I was the one that took the child, being a male, I guarantee you guys would send the hounds of hell after me and SWAT everything else after me. But her, unfortunately, I'm not trying to be sexist, but it's true. Her being a female, they don't see a threat. And let me tell you something, this woman is more of a threat than I ever would be to a child, ever. She's 100% an unsafe person to be around, and she does not need to have children in her life because she doesn't take care of them, never really did. And again, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just being transparent here and being truthful. If it wasn't true, I wouldn't say it. If she was normal, I mean, I've got friends that have 50-50 custody with their um, baby mama or baby daddy, whatever. But this isn't the case. So again, I'm pleading to you guys to be my sleuths out there. Um, I will, if you guys want to DM me, I will give you any information that you want on her. Um, at anything, it doesn't make anything. So just send me a DM. And for those of you listening that aren't on the group page, you can go to I have a GoFundMe, and you can search Glenn Spillman, and you'll see Willow's picture on there. And if you want to donate, that'd be great. But again, if you share it, even better, because the more eyes that see this, the better. Um, I thank you guys for listening to this. I'm very, very, very jacked up over this 100%. But, unfortunately, I have to stuff that down a little bit. And I got to be strong again for my son, because I want my son to see his dad okay. Because if I'm not okay, he's not going to be okay. And I can't let that happen. So, again, if you guys need any other information, just DM me, make a comment on the post. I will get back to you. Thank you very much for listening. And please share and donate. Thank you.